Hello and welcome to Nerd-Base's unboxing video for the Sony PS3 3D display. I got this display on Black Friday from Best Buy because they were doing a $99 deal, so it was cheap. That's the main reason I picked it up, because this display originally retailed, I believe, for something like $400 or $500. And it's come down in price significantly, so I was like, yeah, why not? Comes with a video game, comes with 3D glasses and an HDMI cable. Which the video game being MotorStorm for the PlayStation 3, and it tells you about other 3D games on the box. Most 3D displays are relatively expensive. This one is cheap at the moment. It's come down dramatically in price. This thing has been known to have some issues with just issues in general. A lot of people have reported getting bad ones and returning them and everything else. Hopefully this one's good. Looks like it might be a returned box. We'll see what happens. Has a 240 hertz refresh rate, so it's going to look good in 3D in theory. It also does component as opposed to HDMI if you need it to. Actually, it has two HDMI ports according to the box here. I'm a little surprised by that. I thought it was only one. Good to hear that it does two. And let's get around to opening it up and taking a look. Okay, so the contents of the box, it says there's going to be the display, the glasses, a pouch, the game, the cable, a micro USB cable, the power cord, and a 3D display stand. So let's try to open this guy and see what's going on. Oh, there's got tape all around it. Yeah, I'm not necessarily recommending this display. Hopefully I don't have buyer's remorse afterwards. Oh, it's a 24-inch display. Oh, it's at least packaged nicely. So here is the 3D monitor itself. As you can see, it's actually kind of nice looking there. Has the component inputs with the audio, the two HDMI ports, and a headphone jack if you want to listen by yourself in your room or whatever. At the bottom you've got the power button, input button, volume controls, a menu, and a 3D display button at the bottom. And continuing to go through the box, here we have the MotorStorm Apocalypse video game, which didn't sell so well. It originally was a Japanese game that came out. It was scheduled to come out around the same time as the Japanese tsunami earthquake that had happened, so they had to pull the game before it was released, and it wound up kind of killing the video game, unfortunately. Supposedly it's a really decent game now. Oops. Here's a piece for the bracket that's going to go on the stand, and the stand itself. And the box kind of collapsed over to help me end this video. Alright. Okay, other contents that were in the box. There was a white box tucked away that wound up having the micro USB cable and the 3D glasses, and these are supposed to be active shutter glasses that will work with any active shutter supported TV. They look like hard plastic. I'm not sure if they're going to be very comfortable. We'll see how that goes. I assume that they are battery enabled, but I assume that the micro USB cable is specifically to charge the glasses themselves, but I don't see a port on them, so it's possible that they may not be rechargeable batteries after all. No, doesn't look like it. There's an on-off switch there, but I don't see a port for them. I have a Samsung 3D TV right now that does have rechargeable battery glasses, which is a nice feature. It came with the TV instruction manual as well as 3D glasses manual, and a nice case for the or pouch for the 3D glasses to go inside of. Okay, so we have the monitor fully assembled now. It was a simple assembly. There are no screws needed. It just clips. Everything clips right in. It was very simple, very quick. I'm primarily going to use this as the sound sounds horrible. That wasn't good at all. Right now the sound is at about 50%, and yeah, that's not good at all. Wow. Let's try to move that down. Oops, that was wrong. Alright, the sound is just bad, period, out of this monitor. I can't recommend that at all as far as the audio goes. It's a good thing I don't need it for that purpose. Like, standard sound seems to be fine when you're just going in and having it bloops, bloops, whatever, but the actual audio from the game is just bad. Thankfully I'm going to be using this as a computer monitor and not for actual audio, because that would be horrendous. As far as how it looks fine. I don't see any issues with it. I'll have to play around with it a bit more to make sure that there aren't any other issues I'm going to find, but yeah, the audio on this thing is just atrocious. Okay, just one more quick test with it. I popped a Blu-ray disc in, going through the PS3 and coming in through the display, and the sound right now seems fine. Maybe there was just something weird with MotorStorm itself where that sound was horrendous. I don't know. But this, at least, as you can hear, doesn't sound too bad. So, and it looks good. Like, it's definitely putting out a good quality image as well, so it's not so bad on that front. I'm going to primarily use this as a monitor instead of a PS3 display because I already have a great TV for that, and I want to replace the monitor I have, which is a decent Samsung display, but there are other reasons why I'm removing that out of the equation. But yep, so far that's what it is. Here you go. So going forward with the PS3 monitor, I've connected it up to my PC now, and I had to do a lot of playing around to get the display to look okay. Like, by default, it was very hard to read some of the text. I made a bunch of adjustments, and now it actually looks alright. I'd say one of the biggest negatives, aside from the sound, which is a bit tinny, I tried it out a bit more with some files, and it's definitely tinny. Regular speakers would just work better for that. I might keep using these just out of laziness and space. We'll see what happens. But the other negative that I have is the amount of space that you have with the pedestal that it sits on. It's really kind of small. You don't get a lot of space there, which is causing me to have to sit differently in my chair just so I can look at the display differently. Maybe I can get something to raise it up, and that'll improve that at least, but right now that's a detraction for me. Other than that, it seems like a decent display so far. I'm going to have the specs for this particular thing posted in my Monitor article, so you can look that up and compare with everything else. I definitely didn't buy this system or this monitor for the display, though. I bought it specifically for the cheap 3D aspect of it. I'm a 3D fan, and this works for me. So there you go.